Hello again and welcome to our May 2026 edition of Quick Kit. Links to everything we mentioned will be down in the description below. Let's get into it. ARRI announced two new exciting products this month. First off was the C-Force Max. This is their fastest and most powerful motor to date, but is actually in a more compact package compared to the C-Force Plus. This means it should be better at handling larger lenses with big optical groups and also be faster with LiDAR autofocus systems like the focus bug, as it should be able to react faster to the focus distance data. You can use the motor for focus, zoom or iris, and also as an ancillary motor if you need to. This means that you can set manual hard stops, which could be good for certain lenses or filters. It also has a nice large touchscreen on the motor itself, which we've not seen on an ARRI motor before. This will mean much faster calibrations and setting changes than having to use a hand unit. With this, they also released new 15 and 19mm clamps called the MRC1. These will work with older motors and look like a really smart update. I really like that you can change the position of the tie down. This will make locking the clamp down much easier when motors are close together. Overall though, this system looks really nice, and it's all available to pre-order now on our website. ARRI also announced their new Omnibar series of LED tube fixtures. They are available as both a 2-foot or 4-foot variant and in both a silver and black colourway. They have been designed to be as modular as possible, and the design is honestly one of the best ones I've seen of any tube light fixture. We managed to check them out at BSC this year, and they really are simple to use and very well thought out. They have a range of different modifiers and modular rigging options. This includes 2 diffusers and an intensifier, which decreases the beam angle and increases the intensity of the light. Third-party lighting modifier brands like DOP Choice have also released accessories for the Omnibar. They are IP65 rated, have an internal replaceable battery that can run about 2 hours at full power, and have strong magnets on the back and loops for unique rigging situations. Using the OmniGrip, you can clamp fixtures together if you want to extend them, and they can actually be controlled simultaneously as well, and daisy chained together using the Omni Base charging and control hub. They can also be controlled via Bluetooth using ARRI's dedicated app, and via CRMX as they have a Lumen Radio Timo 2 built in. There are a range of different sets and kits available depending on what you need. These start at roughly £650 and go up in price as you go through the different sizing and combination options. We'll be getting them into our showroom very soon, so drop demo@cvp.com an email if you want to test them out for yourself. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. And if you want to buy anything you see in this video or any other photography or filmmaking equipment, please head over to our website via the links in the description, as it really helps us keep making these videos. Sony announced and released a bunch of new things this month. First was the A7R6, and it has some pretty interesting new features and technology inside of it. It uses a brand new 66.8 megapixel full frame stacked Exmor RS sensor, which is rated to capture up to 16 stops of dynamic range. It has a new dual gain mode where you can shoot images with cleaner shadows, giving you more dynamic range. It can capture 8K up to 30, 4K up to 120 frames per second, and does downsample in a few different modes. Sony also announced their newest XLR adapter, which uses the MI shoe on the A7R6 and allows it, as well as the A7 IV, to record 32-bit flow audio internally. It also uses Sony's new MP-SA100 battery, which is not only 17% larger than its predecessor, but it is also smarter and can be charged much faster. It's obviously a high-resolution photo first camera, but it is an interesting video option and a great sign of things to come from Sony's next generation of Alpha series cameras. It's available to order now for £4,400 on our website, and if you want to learn more, check out the full video here. At the same time, they also announced the 100-400mm f4.5 GM OSS. It's quite a large lens, but every time I picked it up, I was genuinely shocked at how light it was. It's deceivingly light for a lens this large. It uses 4 of Sony's XD linear motors, and paired with the A7R6, it focuses very quickly. It also has a customizable dial on the lens, which could be cool seeing on other Sony lenses going forward. I'm sure for wildlife, sport, and really any other application we need a long lens with a nice constant aperture, this lens is going to be popular. From our brief time testing it, it does produce really good results. It's priced at around £4,400 and is available to pre-order now. Next, Sony released firmware version 2 for the A7 IV. This adds the ability to use the new XLR A4 unit announced with the A7R6. This means you'll be able to use this new unit with the A7 IV and record 32-bit float audio internally. The firmware also has a few other smaller features and improvements. It's available to download now on Sony's support page. Sony have released firmware version 3 for the Burano, which brings a range of new features. This includes the ability to record in 2 new scan modes, a full-frame 5.8K 6x5 and Super 35 crop 3.8K 60x9 mode, which you can shoot up to 120 frames per second. You can also now shoot XOCN in the camera's Super 35 1.9K 60x9 mode. They have also improved the peaking and edge detection for color peaking and updated the autofocus to allow the multi-selector to switch between targets in real time. A few other things have been added as well, which you can see in the firmware notes here, and it's available to download now on Sony's support page. Lastly, Sony announced a new alliance with TSMC on the development and manufacturing of their next generation of imaging sensors. Thypoch have announced their newest focal length in their Cine C series of compact cinema primes, a 16mm T1.9. This brings the series to 6 focal lengths in total now, consisting of the new 16mm, 21, 28, 35, 50 and 75mm. It is a touch slower than the other lenses in the range, which are all T1.5, but given that they have kept the form factor still incredibly compact, there is going to be some kind of compromise. It has a minimum focus distance of 6.3 inches or 16 centimeters, will be available in both Sony E and M mount, and is a touch larger and heavier than the regular focal lengths. This will be available individually as well as in a 6-lens kit, which would be great for existing Cine C owners and people looking for full kits. It's great that Thypoch have added an ultra-wide to this set, but I think it really needs a longer lens around the 100mm mark. The Cine Cs are a really good range of cinema primes that balance a really nice image, compact size, fast aperture, and great price. We finally got our hands on the Thypoch Voyager 24-50mm f2.8 E-mount lens. This is the first autofocus lens under the Thypoch brand, and it's actually pretty reasonably priced at just £586. It's a surprisingly compact lens, weighs just 432 grams, and it zooms internally, which is really awesome for an f2.8 consistent zoom. Its form factor makes it fantastic for weight-conscious filmmakers and means it balances and works really well on the Ronin 4D. Image quality-wise, it does have some optical quirks, but there is going to be considering its size, weight, and overall design. We shot some of the BTS of our Cooke AP3 video with this lens on an FX3, and looking at the rushes, one thing that stuck out to us was how low contrast the lens looks. It also has a pretty interesting flare with some nice blue and rainbow elements to it. Its out of focus elements have a bit more texture to them, and overall, it handles chromatic aberration pretty well. I think given its price, it's got a nice image, especially for people who don't mind some optical imperfections, the lower contrast look, that want something a bit more compact and affordable. Autofocus also works pretty well for us in both stills and video. As I said, I think it's also a great option for the Ronin 4D. It's E-mount only currently and available to order now for £586. They also announced the Kasana 35mm f2 lens for M-mount. We've just started selling and stocking the Lit Duo 1 light meter that is now in full production. We've had it in our studio for a few months now to test and use across various different shoots. And it's a unique little device that has a lot of functionality crammed into its compact and solid design. First off, it's a regular incident light meter, which essentially means you can place the meter on your subject and measure the amount of light hitting it, so you can gauge not only your exposure, but also your contrast ratios. It also has a range of light color measuring tools as well, including color temp and spectrum readings. This is really helpful if you wanted to try and match light sources, evaluate the quality of a light source, or just gauge the white balance in a given environment. One big thing that makes the Duo really unique is its ability to measure the flicker of a light source. I've not seen this in any kind of meter before, and it's incredibly helpful if you shoot in unpredictable lighting, especially in offices where you will often struggle with flickering lights. You can dial in your exposure and then the meter will tell you what shutter speed you need to be at to get rid of the flicker. From our testing, it's an accurate tool, and thanks to its modern operating system, it's only going to get better with future software updates. It's a really well-made and compact unit that we've been throwing in our kit bag again and again since we got it. It's available to order now on our website, link to which is in the description. Cooke have announced their latest series of lenses. These are the AP3. They're a set of 1.5x anamorphic cinema lenses designed for the modern cinema landscape. They build on Cooke's existing SP3 series, but combine that look with classic anamorphic image qualities. There are currently 3 lenses in the set, a 35, 50 and 85mm, all of which are T2.4. They offer a lovely blend of the classic Cooke look, beautiful flares, distinct barrel distortion, and they perform fantastically well wide open. They are designed for full frame cameras, come Sony E-mount as standard, but this can be swapped out to RF, L or M mount, so you'll be able to get them onto loads of different cinema cameras. They're going to be very interesting for filmmakers looking for Cooke's beautiful anamorphic rendering in a much smaller, lighter and more affordable package than their traditional anamorphic lens series. They are available to pre-order now. If you want to learn more about them, check out our full review here. Blackbird have released their new pivot balancer. This is essentially a robust pivoting NATO rail that allows you to attach the mantis onto it. You can then pivot the rail and slide the clamp back and forth to adjust the balance of your camera rig. This would be great for camera configurations with the mantis where you don't have centered mounting points but still want to maintain your balance point. It will also be great if you want to purposely throw the balance off so the camera tilts or rotates more naturally, or even use it more creatively. I think for existing mantis owners, this is going to be a pretty awesome accessory to add to your kit. It's available to order now for £285. Canon have also been pretty busy this month and announced a few new things. First off was the R6V. This is the second camera in their fairly new V series of video focus cameras. It shares a lot with the R6 III, but is far more video shooter focused with some killer spec and features. It uses a 32.5 megapixel sensor capable of capturing great looking detailed video and photos. It can record in 7K 3x2 OpenGate, 12-bit Canon RAW, and a good range of compressed formats including a 4K downsampled mode. It has Canon's dual pixel 2 autofocus system, sensor in-body image stabilization, a robust calling system, C-Log 2 and C-Log 3 color profiles, and a range of excellent tools and features inside of its compact and light body. It's available to pre-order now for £2,399 including VAT on our website, and if you want to learn more, check out our full video. At the same time, they also released the RF 20-50mm f4 PZL IS USM, their first internal powered zoom lens. We managed to get our hands on it recently and it's a lot of fun to shoot with. It's really compact and lightweight considering its excellent focal range and consistent f4 aperture. 20-50mm is actually a pretty decent range. 20mm on full frame is very wide, and 50mm is of course a good standard. I think given its size and weight, and the fact that it zooms internally, it means it's going to be really great for gimbal use. The 20-50mm provides a nicely detailed image for its size and is actually decently parfocal. It has optical stabilization, which is really helpful as a lot of Canon cinema cameras don't have sensor stabilization. You can toggle the lens between a regular zoom by wire mode to the power zoom function, which works really well, but you can also control the zoom with a rocker on some of the Canon cameras and even remotely via XC protocol. This is a killer little video focus lens, which I think is going to be great for compact discrete documentary packages, Cine PTZ setups, and even regular creators wanting a versatile zoom that pairs really nicely with the new R6V and C50. It's available to pre-order now for £1,439, and if you want to learn more, we'll be releasing a video looking at it and powered zoom lenses generally very soon. Lastly, Canon rolled out a range of new firmware for a few of their EOS cameras. Some of these look pretty minor, but the update to the R50V actually looks pretty good. They are all available to download now on Canon's website. At BSC, Steadicam announced their latest system, the Elite. This uses similar technology inside of their Volt 3 and Axis systems, but offers a range of specs that make it sit in between them. This system can handle up to 14 kilograms or 30 pounds, and has the ability to support both 12 volt and 24 volt power distribution, which would be good for flying cameras that require 24 volts. The 3-axis Volt system really transforms the control and assistance of a Steadicam, and this looks like a nice balance of feature set, size, and price. It's available sled only or with an arm and vest. If you want a demo of this or any other kit, drop demo@cvp.com and email. GoPro have finally started shipping their new Mission 1 Pro and sent them out to a bunch of creators to test. So alongside their own showreel, there's also now a good amount of test footage online. I'm really excited to get these in for some proper testing, as some of the images that I've seen from the M1 Pro look pretty good. GoPro are still used pretty widely by creators and on a range of different productions, and this new series is exciting. Have you looked at any of the footage online? If so, let us know what you think of it down below. We actually have the Mission 1 Pro in stock currently on our website, link to which is in the description. At the Cannes Film Festival, DJI was showing off their Pocket 4P. This is just a teaser at the moment, so there's only a few bits of information online. It obviously looks like it shares loads with the Pocket 4, but the big difference is the new dual camera setup on the gimbal. It looks to have two independent cameras with their own lenses, one being a 1-inch sensor paired with a 20mm equivalent lens, and the other being a smaller one paired with a 3x optical zoom. It's rumoured to record up to 6K and capture up to 17 stops of dynamic range, which sounds pretty insane if it can get close to that. It has DJI's new D-Log 2 profile, which I'm intrigued to see if they bring to any of their more professionally orientated cameras like the 4D. It's going to be really interesting to see the final performance of this camera, as it could be a really useful tool for a lot of creatives and filmmakers if it's a serious upgrade over the Pocket 3 and 4. Do you want us to take a look at this in a video? Let us know below. Panasonic have announced a new premium compact camera, the Lumix L10. This is Panasonic's attempt to offer a camera in the premium compact space, which has gained more and more popularity over the past few years, with cameras like the X100VI being in very high demand. This new camera uses the same backside illuminated 20.4 megapixel Micro Four Thirds sensor inside the GH7 and combines it with a 24 to 75mm f1.7 to 2.8 35mm equivalent lens. Given the size of the camera, that's a pretty solid zoom and aperture range for a general carry point and shoot style camera like this. This is obviously a photo first camera, but does have some pretty decent video specs as well. It offers Panasonic's real-time LUT feature for straight out of camera looks for photos and video, can capture 11 frames per second using the mechanical shutter, and has a solid range of features. It has both a rotatable rear LCD and an OLED viewfinder, which I think is going to be a big pro for this camera. It can record in Vlog, can capture up to 5.6K and 4K up to 120 frames per second. It's going to be interesting to see if Panasonic do an interchangeable MFT mount version of this camera. It's available to pre-order now for £1,299. Blackmagic have released Beta 4 for Resolve 21, and the Pixis 12K is now finally Netflix approved. Also here at CVP, we are now offering the Blackmagic Ursa Cine Immersive, which we should have a chance to shoot with very soon. So if you have any questions about it, let us know down in the comments, and if you want to organise a demo with us, drop demo@cvp.com and email. Right, let's get into our quick fire honourable mentions. Links to details about these are in the description. AngelBird announced the AV Pro SD V30 Mark II SD cards, which are available in a 128 or 256GB variant. Asus released the ProArt PA32 USD, which looks like a really interesting monitor, as it is a 31.5-inch 4K QD OLED with dual 12G SDI and a peak brightness of 1000 nits. DJI announced the Osmo Mobile 8P gimbal for smartphones. Godox announced the RS100R and Bi, the ML40R and Bi, and the FL15 Bi LED flashlight. Insta360 released the Mic Pro 2 wireless mic system, which has 32-bit float recording and an e-ink screen on the front of the unit. Laowa released a new APS-C and MFT fisheye zoom, the 4.5 to 10mm f2.8 close focus. Nikon announced the development of the Nikkor Z 120 to 300mm f2.8 zoom lens. We finally have our Nodo Talk demo unit in our showroom, so if you want to see how this new powerful system works for your next project, get in touch with us. Mid49 released a range of Canon R6V accessories. Mutiny announced a power and I/O expansion module for the Pixboom Spark. Nanlux have fully announced their new Matrix 2500B and 2500C fixtures, which look really awesome. Pipe Lighting have been showing off their Pixel Mat. Tilta have released a new range of accessories for the R6V and their new Illusion magnetic filter system, which looks pretty interesting. And lastly, TLS have released a really nice looking rehousing of the Ingenue 35 to 90mm T3.5. This looks like a really nice compact full frame vintage lens housed inside a typically lovely looking TLS housing. If you enjoyed this, please make sure you subscribe ready for next month's quick kit, and let us know what kit you've picked up this month in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching.